Hello, everyone. If you want to go ahead and take a seat, please. We'll get this party started here in just a few moments. And no, I will not rap. Put your hair down so it can blow when you're 5.0. That was just for you, Greg. Maybe. There you go. Right? The mayor of North Las Vegas, John Lee. Let's give it up. So I'm just going to quickly say thank you for coming. No. You're up. You're going to be up. And I'm going to turn it over to the mayor, and then I'll come back and I will sort of reiterate the purpose of why we're here. And really, really appreciate you guys coming. It's a small group, and it's really has strategically been planned that way. Because when you start something, one, you can't do it alone. It takes a village. And to really gain momentum and to do something of significance, it's great when you start with some really thoughtful, mindful people in a small group and then let them build the momentum. So that's what we're doing today. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to the mayor.
Thank you. Hey, before I say something, I'd like to say I have a city councilman, Richard Churchill, I'd like to invite to come up for a minute, and then Isaac Brown is the councilman for the area here. Would you just come up and introduce you? I just think you ought to know these guys, because when you can't reach me, you can reach them, but we all work as a team here.
Well, good morning, everybody. I appreciate you coming in, and I hope you appreciate my coming in at 8 o'clock in the morning. I just want to say a couple of things. I'm not a business person. I never owned a business, although I support the chamber. I'm an individual member for years because the chamber and the businesses are very important to me. I understand the fact of business being the engine of the city. And I'll tell you two things. When I was campaigning, which wasn't all that long ago, a couple of the people that I was speaking to about getting their support, business people, one of the questions that they asked me was, did I ever sign the front of a check? Okay, meaning as a business person, or did I always sign the back of a check because I was a letter carrier for 25 years? So I tried to explain to them, and I did, that this isn't about just you, it's about all of us. And it's really family when it comes to that. We need to support one another. So what Gina said as far as the village goes, I'm from New York. The second thing, most of my life, I was brought up in Brooklyn, where my mom and my neighbors would take the little shopping cart, and they wouldn't drive from point A all the way to point B. They would support their local businesses along 18th Avenue in Bensonhurst and come around. They'd go to the butcher, they'd go to the bread store, and they made their rounds daily. And they understood back then the importance of taking care of family. So I just wanted to share that with you, that I do, even though I'm not a business person, I value what you do. Small business becomes large business, but you all have families and you all have employees. So I appreciate what you do, and just wanted to let you know that I'm here for you. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. Do you guys want me? Actually, you guys don't mind if I speak without it, right? Okay, yeah. I'll use my teacher voice. Matter of fact, you guys know that in my day job, I'm actually. Ooh, are they gonna discount that from my pay here?
You will get fined.
Oh. Well, we probably need another one anyhow. In my day job, I'm a teacher at Rancho High School. A little bit later on, I'll be going and actually visiting one of our local businessmen to get my teeth drilled out for a couple of cavities. Looks like I wasn't brushing on one little side, enough. Got to take care of that. But definitely, I'm visiting one of our local businesses that take care of that. I teach government and history. As someone who's actually a student of history myself, again, like Councilman Churchill, I've never been in business, but I do understand the process, and I study history. And when we look around the country and we see places where businesses reshape their urban corridor, right? We've seen it in San Diego, we've seen it in Seattle, and locally we've seen this in Henderson. So it came to light because, as the mayor said, he said he very famously said before, we're not just over business. We are in the business of business. Matter of fact, I'll say this: I think our city council has been so aggressive on it. We're instead of us being the obstructionists, we're the ones who are actually pushing things. Sometimes on people who may or may not want it, but we're pushing. Matter of fact, to the point that not that long ago, I actually had some businessmen, and this is what gave me the impetus to get it together last year. If you guys, those of you who came to our business meeting last year, there was some business interest who had the idea of bringing a small stadium to the downtown corridor. But I thought before I got into government that that we had these magic wands down here at City Hall. Probably the mayor's got one stashed somewhere, right? And then we could go ahead and just do the magic wand thing and make things happen. Turns out it's not like the way I thought. Unfortunately, we couldn't get that business deal done. And let's face it, a small stadium, the downtown corridor, this area, would have changed the entire downtown area. And for me, that's important because this is not just a job for me, right? This is my home. The mayor and I, where our offices are at, we literally look down upon a neighborhood where we grew up. Where we grew up, we learned how to love, we learned how to play, we learned how to sometimes fight, okay? This is definitely, down to our bone, our home. I know the mayor still feels it, I feel it, Pamela Boyne Brown feels it, right? Our police chief feels it. We are North Las Vegas. If you take a slice and you put it in a microscope, you'll see the North Las Vegas brand there on the bone, okay? That little stadium would have been a game changer. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the deal to happen. And I think what it was is, if I would have had a smart, forward-thinking group of other professionals, of business owners, we could have probably gotten together and made it happen somehow. I have that feeling. I'm an optimist too. So that's what gave me the original impetus to get us together last year. But I'll be honest with you. Down here, every person that we have here, Director Duvall there, Ms. Duty. I don't know what your current title is, Ms. Duty, but everyone's like got 2 and 3 hats. And quite frankly, we didn't have the muscle before. But now we have a firm hand. We have a firm hand on that steering wheel. And that firm hand is, of course, our Director of Economic Development, Gina Gavin. And now, I know that with, bless you by the way, now I know with this new business network and with Gina's solid leadership down here at the city, we're going to be able to make things happen. And so I really welcome you all to come down here. I really do think the best is definitely, hey, there's an old saying here. This used to be the Rancho High School motto for the football team. And I think we're going to win Friday against Vegas High School. If I have any Vegas High School graduates over here, I'm sorry, you're going down this Friday. Their motto was, the best is yet to come. And I honestly believe the same thing is true for our city. We're very close. We're about to have our Las Vegas Boulevard corridor here is going to get redone very soon. There's plans on reshaping the Lake Mead corridor, and you should definitely have a say in this. We are the #1 site for Southern Nevada Strong. If you don't know what that is, of course, it's a conglomeration by HUD, and they chose the Lake Mead Island as their #1 spot to redevelop. We're right now in the thick of the running for a fantastic grant from the Choice Neighborhoods grant, and we have people here that are definitely trying to make that happen. And where's Jim? Jim, or next to Jim's hard at work. We're going to make this happen. I can feel in my bones that we're going to get this one. We're going to work hard on it, and that's where we're working in the government. And our businessmen working together, we're going to come together, and I think we're going to forge an entirely new downtown area, something that we'll be proud of years from now. But of course, we can't do it. It turns out we don't have the magic wand. Turns out you guys are our magic wand. You guys are the ones who are going to be able to help you make this happen. Thank you so very much for coming today, and from the bottom of our heart, I really believe we're going to make this happen. And I'm just tingling. I'm just tingling with not just with pride, but with a lot of anticipation. Thank you so much.
You know, I went to Rancho. I didn't fight though. If my wife would fight fair, I could whoop her. I think. You know what I mean? I'm the president of the Battered Husbands Workshop here in North Las Vegas. So for all you gentlemen like me, we'll have a meeting right after here. We've got our board of directors here, our finance director, our city manager here, all our directors here. This is a unique opportunity for you to meet the people that actually legislate your businesses and work with them. And your issue might be a small one, but if it's unique and you need help with it, we want to help you with that, you know. North Las Vegas is definitely coming out of the cocoon. We still have some financial challenges that we're working on, but we're growing in the right places. Richard and Isaac have not had the opportunity to be in business. I have. It's been Thursday night, and I laid my head on the pillow, and I needed $200,000 for payroll, and I didn't have it, you know, the next day, and I had all those wives and families and stuff like that. So I understand what you go through very, very succinctly. But I wanted to tell you there's some great things happening in your area, but there's some wonderful people here today. Here's North Vista Hospital right here. You guys should know them. Hans Military Sporting Goods is here. We've got a medical marijuana facility here. We've got an advertising agency here. We've got Broad Acres right there. U.S. Bank over there. Dominic Gentile has got a big business across the street from the Jerry's Nugget over there. I see Poker Palace is here. So, I mean, as I just look through here, there's a lot of money in this room, you know. Silver Nuggets here somewhere, and so I have a little leg. When I see money being made, this little leg moves. You know what I mean? And I want to get a piece of it, but I can't do it right now. You know. But I mean, there's a lot of money in this room. If you guys would get together, you really could network yourselves into some successes here. But I just wanted to give you a few ideas of what's happening. We just had almost $1 million, $500,000 grant cast. From the American Parks Association or something like that, and then we put in some money in Joe Neat Park. We just put a ton of money over there in that neighborhood. Chief Lytle over here's got Fire Station 51 over here on what's the street here? Cary. That we're rehabbing that to make that look a little better. We're doing. This is interesting for us who grew up here our whole lives. There's an old school down there called Jefferson, and one called Washington. We're right now working with a school district, get those schools given to us so we can put a museum and art and stuff like that in their area. This whole area down here, which Gina will explain to you, we have bought a lot of real estate over the years there. We're really done buying real estate now. We have enough of it now that we think that we can start attracting some big developers to come in here and start working with our North Gateway right here. And Gina set up some appointments to do that. We think we can be a suburban area to Zappos, even though we're both, let's just call them urban, but we're suburban to them, even though we're both urban. There's a lot of stuff up there that's not in areas for them, and we think we can take and fill some of those needs that they have there. So we get that cleaned up. Leslie was telling me that our graffiti abatement is working great down in this area. So if you're having problems with graffiti, we have Greg Blackburn right over here that can handle that for you. But I think the thing is, I want to leave you, I want to get your business juices flowing. There's a lot of money to be made in North Las Vegas. 50% of this town has not been built out yet. We are like going to be the breadbasket of this whole valley. This is the only place right now where real wealth can be built. You look, there's no hot spot. There's not South Las Vegas Boulevard, Henderson. There's nowhere right now that's attracting any kind of success. North Las Vegas is going to fill that vacuum. If you want to know what's going on around you, set an appointment with Gina. She's not going to give you inside information, but she can tell you things that are going around that ought to be able to help you make a decision. Do you want to get a loan or not? Do you want to get involved in the growth of this community here? You know, if you take a look at North Las Vegas, and Jennifer Duty here is our public works director, she's responsible for everything under the ground. So all the pipes, the street lights, the fire hydrants, the flood control probably, all that kind of stuff, that's Jennifer. And above ground, if you add all the commercial, industrial, and residential buildings that have been built already, and then you add in the 50% of the town that hasn't been built yet, you understand this city council is running an $18 billion business here on a $500 million budget. We're doing huge things in North Las Vegas. This is going to be the exciting, most incredible place. The book will be written one day, how we pulled it out of the ashes and how we turned it into an economic driver for everything in the region. So we're very excited about what we have to offer in North Las Vegas. But if you don't participate in the success of it, then what good was it? If people come here from everywhere else and buy the land to make money and you didn't get any of it, then it was a waste of time sometimes for you to be here, you know, because there's other people who have that innate desire to become financially independent and work, you know, within our community here. So I just wanted to tell you that this $18 billion business is going to be a $20 billion business before you know it. And if there's something that you want to do, watch what we're doing and then make your investments. U.S. Bank's in the back there. I just met that gentleman. I don't know him, but we've got bankers here in the room. So become a part of the success of North Las Vegas. You know, they say there's three kinds of people: them that make things happen, them that watch things happen, the others that what happened. I think that you guys have the ability to come down, meet these directors. We are not just open for business, we mean business in North Las Vegas. So if they're doing something else somewhere else in another community and we should copy that, you tell us we need to do it, okay? So anyway, I'm excited to welcome you to our chambers here, invite you to come back again and again on private meetings with our directors and our fire chief. This is not emergency preparedness month, right? If you've got a lot of employees who work where you work, you should have Jeff come over there and talk about emergency preparedness. If you want the police chief to come over to your office and meet your people, Greg, at Broad Acres out there, have a meeting, have him come over. We work for you. The social contract says you give us money, we give you services. You're not asking for enough services. So we're excited to offer this wonderful, intelligent team over here to help you build your business. So with that, I think we've got the most remarkable economic development director. Dr. Liu, did you want to say something? This is our city manager. Did you want to maybe come up and... This is the lady you all should know. Her Rolodex should be yours.
Thank you, Mayor. Actually, I was supposed to give an overview of what's going on with the city, especially on the economic development fund end. As you can see on this map, we actually identified 6 areas that we want to focus on for development activities, and we do not want to start one or put another one in the back burner. We actually want to start all of them at the same time when the opportunity arises. And we do have some encouraging news for half of those areas that we have activities that are currently ongoing. Let's start with the Tule Springs village at Tule Springs.
I'll just say goodbye, all right?
Oh, you,
I'm leaving.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for allowing me.
Thank you for coming. And the villages at Tule Springs, that's total of 2,700 acres. Master plan community, that's actually the last master plan community that we have in North Las Vegas. I have monthly meeting with the developer, and they basically are talking along on the technical studies and on design plans. And they are telling me the construction date is actually the end of the first quarter or the beginning of second quarter of next year. So which is very imminent. As you know, the technical studies and plans reviews and permits that take a long time, but they are taking very aggressive approach, trying to get this off the ground as quickly as possible. And they do have 2 major developers that are at the end of the negotiation phase, and hopefully that will close within the weeks to come, and all the plans will come to fruition as planned. We also have medical job creation zone here in the middle of this. Here we gained 150 acres from the federal act that was approved last year, and 150 acres directly across the street from Via Hospital. And we have engaged conversations with multiple groups, and with one group that are probably going to be the front runners. And we have meetings that are ongoing with that particular group. Hopefully we can have some game plan putting together and really have some development timeline identified. Because if you haven't seen this already, and I can tell you the difference in this leadership team versus all the ones that you have dealt with in the past, is that we are focus-oriented, and we focus on what the results, right? We really focus on what's going to come out of this. I mean, we do not want to keep talking about plans. We want to see the physical construction and physical improvements out in the field, on the streets, and in the community. So for us to continue to engage those conversations, if it's not going anywhere, basically we're just going to redirect our resource and then our effort and trying to focus on the things that are really going to be become reality. That is going to be exciting. Originally we want that to be the UNV medical campus. Looks like we were not going to be the first campus, and therefore we redirect our resource, and we're looking at really develop a medical campus that's going to be focused on service, focused on research, and those sectors are very much needed in the state, let alone Southern Nevada. So that's something we do not have a firm timeline in terms of development, but we're really pushing for that timeline to be crafted, and hopefully we can really pencil that out in the near future. Obviously, the industrial North Batterway Industrial Park has been on the table for many years, probably for as long as I've been here, for over 10 years. We keep talking about it. Now we're taking some action. As you know, the government's role is really providing opportunity and providing infrastructure so that development can occur. So what we have done is really to push through the infrastructure that's very much needed, and the sewer project that's currently under final design, and Director Dubois is directly involved and responsible for that, and we have that project that's underway, and hopefully we have the final design done within the next 12 months, and that one is not hopefully, definitely will have design done, but hopefully we'll have the SID, Special Improvement District, established, because again, that requires partnership in the community. City can only push for what we have control over, and we definitely need the partnership for those development to occur. Finance Director Adele tells me that he is very optimistic for this SID to be formed and to be ready for construction 12 months from now, which means as soon as we have the final design, we need to be able to go for construction. So we're talking about 18 months. Hopefully we can start construction or sooner, right there? Or sooner, or just 12 months from now, as soon as the final design is ready and we can start construction, then the project will be underway, and the infrastructure will be in place within 12 months. So construction, that's how long it's going to take. So in 2 years, that's be in place. We cannot, just like development community knows this much better than us in the government role, you cannot just wait till the last minute, right? The planning and the coordination and the funding, everything that needs to be lined up before that you can really go out there, move the dirt and start construction. So I certainly encourage you to explore all those opportunities, because they're not all just tied to one particular developer, because there are a lot of opportunities. We have vacant land in all those areas that I mentioned. We have tremendous opportunities in those areas. So if you're interested in doing medical, you don't have to do the whole 150 acres. You could be doing one building or two buildings and some services. So those are definitely opportunities to explore. So don't be shy about that. If you are interested, just reach out to Gina here, and we'll walk you through with all the details, and hopefully we can really gain some momentum in terms of interest and really build the partnership, so we can really make that priority and a reality, right? Apex, you probably heard a lot about Apex Industrial Park. Especially the media has been reporting on this game-changing sector that we have been trying to secure for Southern Nevada. The benefits, it's not just for North Las Vegas. As you all know, this is going to be huge change for Southern Nevada and for Nevada as a whole. So we are not currently engaged with the final negotiation on the incentive side. However, we've been in the leading role trying to secure this opportunity for the state and for the North Las Vegas since February, March of this year. So within 6 months, 5-6 months, Even though we're probably 6 months or 8 months behind when comparing to other states who are in the running, but we managed to rise to the top. And again, that is the dedication and the passion as well as the tenacity that we just want to take to the finish line. We are very close and very optimistically waiting for the final news to come out, hopefully within days, right? That's so we're told by the state. So we really want to see some news release on that, and hopefully we can get the state's support and state legislators support on that. Then we can get that project off ground. Again, it's a very aggressive project. If we do get it, their timeline is to start production in 2017, which is only 2 years from now. So it's a very exciting opportunity, obviously. We are looking at 500 to 1,000 acres. The land that they're trying to look at is in a broader range because they are looking at the ancillary sectors to come along, like supply chains, supporting services and parts and all that to be co-located, which is very smart, definitely very smart plan. So we obviously have some activities already going on in addition to Faraday that I just mentioned about. Activities going on in Apex, some of them already have permits, right? And so they are in the construction phase. And we certainly hope those buildings will be erected very soon. Lastly, but not leastly, is the downtown. I know many of you are very directly involved with a lot of conversations and planning effort in the past. Again, we want to focus on results. So Bonnie Fish is here, and I know Greg's probably going to talk about some of the ideas that they really want to push forward. We need partners. In order to change the landscape in downtown, we need to do one project at a time. So it's great to have great plans, but if we don't turn it from paper to reality, then that plan is just as good as a piece of paper. So what we focus on is really trying to support you and support anyone who is interested in make a real project happen in downtown. And we want to get in the partnership with anyone who is interested in doing something real in downtown. So for anyone who has direct interest in downtown to participate in this effort, I just think this is so critical. And we want to be strategic yet practical. And we want to make sure that whatever we come up with is going to be implementable within the next year, 2 years, or 3 years. And that way we can really see some results. And again, that way we can build up the momentum. One of the things that we've done, again, as a government role, is really trying to provide those opportunities. Planning effort certainly is a great opportunity, and infrastructure is another, right? We are looking at some of the road improvements. We also look at some not so conventional thinking in terms of doing, make downtown plan more implementable and make it I know we have some land, but they are bisected by the road, and then just make the opportunity, limited the opportunity, what kind of project you can do and how big of a project you can do. So we're trying to remove those obstacles and trying to really create opportunities for local or out-state business to come in to help us to realize that dream. And I did not really mention the job creation zone here. That's another 450 acres north of Beltway. It's probably a little further down the road, simply because we do not really have the infrastructure there. And also we want to focus on the results. And if it's 5 years or longer, we're probably just going to focus on something that's 5 years or less, right? So that we can see the results in the field and in the community. Before I turn the mic to Gina, I want to very briefly touch on some of the things that we have changed. So if you have not done a real project in North Las Vegas within the last 2 years, I encourage you to start your next project soon, because this is a city government that we are there to compare and compete with anyone in the state or even in the nation. We want to be the best, even though we have very limited resource. And what we have changed is really the mentality and the culture. Okay, since we are results oriented from council to management team to staff, and everyone is focused on the results, that means we cannot just sit there for you to come to us. We want to reach out to you. We also want to help you. So if you come to our city hall to do business, and I hope you'll notice that change from staff at all levels. They want to help you to succeed. They want to help you to get your plans processed, get your permit issued, and get payment made. So that is in 2 years, we are able to do that, and the process along with those services have been tremendously improved. So I just want you to really try it, and try it with your next project. You'll tell the difference. And I've received many accolades and comments from people who has done that in the last couple of years, and they just say, well, Clark County will take this long, or city will take this long, and you guys took this such short time notice. And some of you guys have done the project in the last year or two, or so. You can be the best ambassador for the city. Just tell them how great service that we provide and how creative we are in order to help you to succeed or to meet your timeline. And sometimes we are the ones actually champion for those changes to occur and help you to identify those opportunities. And this City Hall was opened almost 4 years ago, and back in November 2011, right? We had a one-stop shop in the first floor. It's called Development Service Center. But we did not really have one-stop shop until May of this year. Why? Because we still was running somewhat to a degree by different departments, right? You have great service with building safety, or even great service with planning, but you may not have great service with fire prevention, or may not have great service with utilities or whatnot. So by really consolidate the service and consolidate the process, and we're able to truly say we have one-stop shop. Nowadays, you will not receive conflicting comments, conflicting timelines, or even sometimes conflicting results at the end of the day. So I'm very proud to say that we can beat anyone in terms of time, customer service, in terms of turnaround time. Not only we use our internal staff, we have actually third-party outsourced for expedited review. If your timeline is extremely short, we can accommodate that. So please take advantage of that, and let us help you to succeed. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Liu. All right, so let's go back and revisit kind of the purpose of why we're here, and then I'll touch on the Gateway downtown, and then I'm going to bring up Bunny Fish because they're going to be doing some conceptual programming for us on the Lake Mead Island, which will be a catalyst for some of the changes that we want to make downtown. And then I'm also going to introduce, hi Cindy, I just saw you. And then I'm going to introduce our sponsor, the Metro Las Vegas Chamber, Justin, so he can say a few words. I'm going to also recognize the economic development staff, and then we will get into a few of the details with some of the overview that Dr. Liu and the mayor touched on, some infrastructure and some other happenings around the community. And then we'll open it up to some questions for you guys. And then we will all high-five each other as we go out the door and have an awesome day, right? Okay, so we're here because, look, the purpose of this downtown network is it's real simple. It's kind of a three-prong approach. We, want to provide a platform for you for some learning opportunities of what's going on with the city. We want to create some engagement amongst civic and business matters for all of the people who care about doing business and who are doing business in North Las Vegas. And we want to create some connectivity and some networking amongst the peers, because it's really it's all of you who are out there churning and burning and making business happen. And so we don't get to do what we do without you. So we're all connected. We're all one here in this universe. And so we appreciate that, and we want to try to open up those channels of engagement. Do you guys have any questions so far? I know it's kind of been talking heads, and so the format going forward we're not going to all come up here and wow, 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 wow. It's meant to be able to bring up some keynote speakers. We'll give you an opportunity to have a voice. As we get started downtown, we'll be able to have Bunny Fish, and we'll be doing some charrettes, and we'll be seeking your engagement about how we go forward, what's important to you in your city and in your community. So today is we really want to put a face and name to who you guys are and who the city is, and hopefully create some goodwill and some comfort, right? I mean, about who we are and who you are and how we can work together. So with that, Bunny Fish, let's bring up Craig Palacio. He's one of the principals. And so with Bunny Fish, the city has spent years acquiring some properties to be able to be a catalyst for some change around the Lake Mead Island. And so that's what we're going to be working with Craig's firm to do just that. And then we've also been meeting with different developers, and we have a developer we're very excited about coming in tomorrow, actually, to talk about maybe how we create some sort of synergistic partnership in, I don't want to say rebuilding downtown, but really forward-facing how we make change. And we have to do that in multitude of ways. And some of it is with the land that we have, the buildings that we have. We have to put some kind of new facade, some frontage to how this place looks. And I think the first way that we even do that is with some placemaking, a sense of place through art. So we're looking at all of those things. Bunny Fish will be able to help us bring that all together. But I'd like to turn it over to Craig and let him tell you a little bit about his firm and a little bit about the work that we'll be doing.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, you guys. We're really excited to be here in North Las Vegas. We have meetings and doing work at the Zappos complex all the time. For about a year now, I've been walking between our office and Zappos and saying, like, the real opportunity is that way, looking underneath the underpass there on the other side, all the way down here. And then when Joe's group and New Veda's group had us come over here and look at some properties, I came back to the office and I was like, that's the exciting place in Las Vegas. That's the new East Fremont. That's where the opportunity is, because in some of these other places we've been working, the opportunities, it's gone. They've had their time. You cannot buy property in Las Vegas right now. It's just not affordable. You can't do anything with it, and what's left is not usable space. I'm actually not going to give an update on the project, because there isn't anything that's at any developed level to share with you at the moment. We just got the approval on the 2nd, so we're sort of in the process of mapping and looking at what we have to deal with. What I'd like to do is give you a few minutes on who we are and why we're here. My business partner Tina couldn't make it. She's sick, so she's not in today. But and feel free to jump in and ask questions as they go along. Let's make this dialogue. I have two that I'm pretty sure I'm going to get asked, so feel free to ask whatever you want. We're a young firm. We're a 5-year-old firm. Just in the last 2 weeks, we got nominated for Firm of the Year for Nevada, which is huge for us, huge for a new young firm like us, competing with some of the mega firms that we have in Las Vegas that are doing work globally. So we're pretty excited about that. Tina and I met at university at UNLV, so we're definitely locals, and we had a decision to make after graduate school, which was 2007, in a really good economy, which is, where do we go to practice? And there's, obviously amazing cities in the world that have a lot to offer as far as lifestyle and architecture. And the decision we made was to start this practice in Las Vegas, because it's a place where, as Tina puts it, it's a small town on the global radar, which means that people are looking at Nevada and Las Vegas, very soon going to be looking at North Las Vegas to see what we're doing. But in places like Singapore and Seattle and San Francisco and places like that, you'd be surprised at the reach we have. I started my career out of grad school working for a company that did casinos. It was very weird. I didn't think that I would do that, be in that sector. And when I got the job, I was sat down and told this world of casinos is very different from what you know as being in construction and design. And I found that out very quick, and I became very good at laying out casinos and understanding how people work and go to casinos and how these things function, where the games go, and how you sort of lay things out around there. And as the years went by, the funny thing happened with my career. I started to move into this position of creating what we called integrated resort. And then a lot of my job was creating integrated resort as catalyst for community. So what was happening is our clients wanted to go in places like Walsall, England, or New Bedford, Massachusetts, and build a casino where casinos weren't legal. And my job would be to go in and explain and draw and design places that weren't just casinos, but they made the place a better place. So they would have movie theaters and restaurants and jobs for the kids, so the kids wouldn't leave right after high school, but they'd have a place to work and create their own community. As time went by, most of those projects never got built because that was in the 2005 to 2008 years. And then several years ago, I got called by the Resort Gaming Group guys as the world turns 360, and they said, we bought the Gold Spike Casino and we've moved all the machines out, and it's your job to figure out what to do with this 20,000 square feet of space. And I left the project in my casino mentality thinking to myself, it'll never work, right? So our team came over and we looked at what we had, and we created a place that we hoped would be a place where people would go in a non-gaming situation and meet up with friends and have meetings and drink and eat and have a good time. And all these years later, it's become a really big success. On Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, there's a line down the street. Everybody knows the Gold Spike. It's a place where people meet and hang out, or they go to other places. And then as the world turns, so we're having meetings with people like MGM Mirage Resorts, and they're saying, our casinos aren't making the money that they used to make. Can you do that in parts of ours? And now we're up in Reno, and we've just decommissioned a 50,000 square foot casino, and we're making it just that. It's a community place where people can come and do things that are non-gaming related. And Bunnyfish is not pro or con gaming, but we're pro what makes sense for the community. We're able to look and see, as communities grow, what the new need is. And despite the fact that I said that would never work, I jumped on board and we did it, and it's working. So we're a very fluid young company that does things like that. For the last 5 years, we've been working on East Fremont, and we've learned a lot of lessons there, a lot of lessons in how to strategically or strategically create things that are catalysts for development. And as you know, that project has sort of finished as a downtown project, Tony Hsieh project. But now what we're starting to see is somebody's pushed that ball, and then inertia's keeping it moving. It's going to keep growing. So that's where we're at. There was a bunch more things that I wanted to tell you, but that's sort of how we ended up here, our relationship with North Las Vegas. And again, we're super excited. Does anybody have any questions or anything that they want to ask or talk about? Yes.
So do you see North Las Vegas kind of taking on the same personality as downtown Fremont area?
No.
Is that what you're
No. I think that there's definitely already a very independent, unique personality here, and we want to figure that out and then engage that and make it be North Las Vegas. The only takeaway from East Fremont ever for the rest of my life is sort of how you can sort of come in and build something and then walk away and let other people do it. And East Fremont's not the first place. The Loop in St. Louis has done it. There's a lot of situations like that around the country where people have gone in. Usually what happens, like in the example of St. Louis, the legend is that this guy rolled in, his car broke down, he had to stay there a couple days, bought a bar, bought a couple other bars, and then this place that was run down near the University District is now like the coolest place in St. Louis. With Tony Hsieh, it's a little different because he's sort of still there, still very much a thing, but he's pulled out. But yeah, to answer your question in a very long way, North Las Vegas is North Las Vegas, and this area that we're looking at has a very different vibe and personality, and we don't want to change that. We actually think it works really well. Yes.
So, how do you describe the vibe? What is the vibe? Tell me so I can understand what you think the vibe is.
So that's the part that we've been working a lot on that we're not prepared to sort of present in this meeting. But I can tell you it's you know, it's not a pub crawl like East Fremont. It's not a, you know, immediately adjacent to gaming. It's definitely ethnic, and I think it has a lot more opportunity to be residential. And when I say residential, mixed-use residential, a place where, unlike East Fremont, where people can live and work. There's a lot more to it. As you know, it's a very complex place, but those are the things that I think that I can safely say at the moment. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
See us having more information about what the vibe would be.
You know, that's our first task. That was definitely what they said on the second. That is our first task. We have to put together a schedule. And do you have an idea or?
I would say that right now we're really doing a lot of planning and timeline, and so I would say that at the beginning of the year we will probably roll out. And that's actually when this group will also re-engage. And so when we come back together in January, we'll be able to share some of the thinking a little bit, or the deeper roots of how we see this transition happening.
Yeah, and hopefully by then have some laid out stuff that we can look at as well. Yes.
Well, I don't know. I notice things, of course, when I'm driving around, right? One thing that's so under the radar, of course, our very good friends over there at Broad Acres, they got 40,000 people coming in and out of the place every weekend. And that is like so under the radar. It's like, you know, one of these secrets that's not really a secret. 40,000 people and several hundred small entrepreneurs. It's an incredible thing, right? And the rest of the valley doesn't even give them credit for that. It's incredible. It's one of the deepest, and it's a consistent thing. You know, it's only like when it's the very hottest in the summer that it actually goes down a little bit. But Friday nights, right? It's jumping over there. You know, if you haven't been by there, you need to go by there on a Friday evening. It's jumping. Okay. I don't know if the rest of the friends know this right here, but our very good friend Joe Kane just last week hosted one of the biggest stars in the Hispanic market, Ezequiel Peña. Well, unless you're like Mexican, you don't know. Maybe you don't know who he is, right? They actually had. He was actually the Silver Nugget was actually mentioned in the same paragraph as the Mandalay Bay, as all the big strip properties. They were the event was actually covered by Gordo y Flaca. They're like one of the biggest two talk show hosts in the Latino market, and they mentioned Ezequiel Peña right after all the big strip entertainers. He had Ezequiel Peña. He's a singer who's also a horseman, and he had a horse show in the back on the back lot of the Silver Nugget. Okay, when we talk about the vibe, we're on the cusp of something here really big. If all of a sudden we can actually bring first-rate stars to the downtown area, and do it like almost again under the radar, right? We can do bigger. I mean, we're right there. We just like you said, we just need something to bring all these things together at the same time. Do you even realize how big that was to have Ezequiel Peña there?
I've been told that. I don't have any records in my collection, but I know it's a big deal. We had a great crowd. So.
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
busy inside the Silver Nugget in the strip show.
It's just, you know, there's a certain vibe here, and if we could just capture it, and you know, like you say, I don't have the answers, you know, I'm just the guy over here trying to grease the wheels, make things happen, right? I have my own visions here, but we just need some smart, all the smart people, him, her, the rest of us, right? Just figure out this plan together. We're on the verge of something really big.
So are you hired by the city of North Las Vegas, and then are you wandering around, like coming into all of our places and seeing what we've got going here? Is that where you're coming up with this vibe? And then are you going to say, little corner is our community.
They're part of the vibe too. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys know this, but again, it's been known for a long time. Mike Tyson, he hangs out. He's known to hang out at the Poker Palace, right? Iron Mike. You can go in there to get a beer or do a little bit of gambling, and Iron Mike will be at the end of the at the end of. I mean, again, they're part of the vibe.
We tell him to leave his pigeons outside.
Well, at least he's not bringing his tigers. So I don't want to speak for Craig, and I love all the questions, and we want to take some. Laura, to your question, that's part of what we're going to be doing is we're going to be asking all of you who have businesses downtown, and who contribute and make a lot of impact in North Las Vegas about what is your vision, right? I mean, so we will be doing outreach to all of you and getting your input as well as others that aren't in the room today. And so the one thing I think that Craig said that we really want to focus on is that we're not going to change who we are. We want to embrace who North Las Vegas is, and we want to be able to accentuate the assets. And so by doing that, it's playing to our strengths. There's a big paradigm shift that has to happen in the community, even outside of North Las Vegas. And so we want to do that. We feel like we have the energy and the momentum and the intellectual capital and the heart. And the heart really comes from you guys. And so we want to take all of that and we want to package it up, and then we want to say, look, this is the best face that we have. And so it's going to take work. There is no, magic fairy dust. At first, sometimes this process is messy, but then through that chaos, we find the path and we find cohesion, and then and soon we'll find a whole different definition of what community really is.
I have to say that I'm excited about the fact that you have, a plan, a firm to do this, because I've been to so many of these meetings, and every time, this is what we want to do, this is what, and it's kind of a little bit different each time, and and we want to do this, but this is the first time we've actually had a body here, which makes me happy that
Woo woo.
something to fruition, and quite honestly, this is many years of waiting. That's why I say the vibe, because over the years, there's been many ideas of what the vibe may be, and but I have to say I'm excited that you're a young, vivacious firm.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Craig. And just to keep things moving, and I know you had a.
I'm Brian Pashnak. I'm the owner of the Hacienda Hills, which is an apartment building and commercial center on Las Vegas Boulevard. We are right across the street from the Silver Nugget. We've got about 20,000 square feet of retail on the frontage of North Las Vegas Boulevard, and the back residential. And I guess my question has been and continues to be, what is the city's plan for the redevelopment of Lake Mead North to City Hall on Las Vegas Boulevard? I know that you bought a couple of parcels. I understand from Jennifer that there may or may not be a dispensary there that was approved next door to us. But there's also a property next to that property that the city sold, that the city owns now, that they may or may not sell. I don't know. And then there's some obvious vacant commercial, but that being your front door to the city is obviously a concern to me as a property owner on that street. I'm sure to everybody leading up to City Hall from Lake Mead. So what plan, if any, is there?
Sure. Yeah. So thank you. That's a great question. And I don't want to be vague because they're big questions. And really what I know what I've been doing for almost the last year is talking to a lot of people, talking to a lot of stakeholders, talking to a lot of different developers, trying to yield some of their brain power and ideas, and looking at best practices also in other cities. And so with the property particularly that the city owns, it used to be Strip 91. That's a development opportunity. So we're not looking to sell that land. We're looking to have something built on that land that's going to create jobs and create some capital investment that would serve what we're trying to do. So I don't know what that will be. And that all goes into the planning too that we're working with Bunnyfish. Jennifer will talk about some of the Las Vegas Boulevard road improvements that we're doing, which will be one of the first catalysts of change that people will see. And so I'll let her talk about that in a few minutes. But again, those questions are exactly what we're addressing right now. And if you have input, please, if you don't have my card is out there. Email me. We can set up a meeting.
About retail coming in on Big Box or shopping center. I know the Fiesta Center has been planned there for years.
Las Flores, you mean?
What's that?
Las Flores, you mean?
Las Flores Center. And I'm not clear really if there's any, preliminary discussions about that site that's being developed, but that obviously.
That landowner is not talking about doing anything. We're pushing that landowner to do something, and we're introducing other developers who have an appetite to do something to that landowner. Yeah, it absolutely. And from my very small opinion of what might make sense on that big corner, is anchoring some sort of entertainment, some sort of kind of that real sense of community, with some retail and some food. But we're right now with those big parcels, even at the gateway at Owens, we're constantly sending end users to that landowner, trying to get some momentum and create some change. Same with Las Flores. Any of the holes that you see or anything that might be for sale in, in that main corridor, we're working behind the scenes and very forward facing actually from the developer side of creating those connections to make something happen. I think the most difficult thing is patience, and you guys have had more patience, than anybody. But we are working very hard to do that. And I know that you had a question.
Yeah, my name is Sonia Diaz, and I'm with National Coalition of Hispanic Organizations. And we would like to introduce to all of you because we are advocating to implement social businesses by Dr. Muhammad Yunus here at Nevada. And I think this is very important for all of you guys because it's contemporary economic methodology that we can use to develop not just business but our community. So it's very interesting, and I'm so happy to be here because this is our intention. Economic development and education, they must go together in order to help the largest minority in our country, I guess. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Cindy?
Good morning, I'm Cynthia Cameron from Morris Beverage. We have one of the big boxes down the street on West Cheyenne, and we distribute alcoholic beverages here in the valley and in the outlying areas like Moapa, Laughlin, Crum. But actually, what I want to make is a statement. My 2001 class of Leadership Las Vegas United Chamber established, some of us in the class established the Centennial License Plate. And we to date have raised, through that license plate, it's the one that has a bump in Las Vegas sign on it, $18 million. And that $18 million funds the preservation of historical things around the valley. So for those of you in North Las Vegas who have historical buildings, you might want to apply for funding that can help you with the development and the revitalization of your properties. So please contact, I think it's the city of Las Vegas that has those funds. So I just want to say, take a look. There might be some money there for you to help you restore your properties, those that have historic buildings.
Thank you. Yes, no, that's fortuitous, actually, because the city of North Las Vegas is working with the Clark County School District on a National Historic Register that would go in our arsenal for a civic kind of community space where the Washington Continuation School is. And so that's exactly what, at least from the city's perspective, we would like to be seeking some of those funds for some support. Joe?
Resident business owner. I think for that committee as well, North Las Vegas probably should consider have representation. I've been to several of their meetings and we have no representation from this.
Yeah, and I'm not actually, we'll have to see, I'm not sure how they do that or do that. Okay, all right. Okay. Okay, so just for the sake of time, And we'll come back to some questions at the end. And Justin, I think we'll do the sponsor moment, I think, as we're wrapping up, if that's cool with you. But at this time, I would like to recognize the economic development team, because as we've talked about some of this CapEx investment that's going on around the valley and job creation, creating development on some of these infill pieces, and then what the work that we want to do downtown, all of that happens from it takes everybody within the city to be able to do that. But part of that initial engagement happens with economic development. So with that, I'd like to Terry Sheridan, economic development specialist, and we've got Catherine Avina, who is our specialist in grants. We've got Pamela Dittmar, an economic development specialist, and we have a new member to the team, Bill Agier, who is also an economic development specialist. So we are small, but we are mighty. So I'd like to thank them for all of the work that they do. And with that, then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let each of these, and let's just keep it to like 2, I know it's tough because there's a lot going on, but about 2 minutes. And let's let them kind of each talk about some key things that's happening, and then we'll open it up to some, I'll introduce Justin and bring him up, and then we'll open up to some more questions, and we'll be able to wrap this up here in the next 10, 15 minutes. Is that cool? Yeah? Oh, come on, people. All right, Jennifer Duty.
Thanks, Gina. I'm Jennifer Duty. I'm Director of Public Works for the city. We've got projects going on all over the city, but since I only have 2 minutes, I'll concentrate on what we're doing in the downtown area. And the big one that we're working on right now is Las Vegas Boulevard. We were able to get that right-of-way relinquished to us from NDOT, from Tonopah up to Cary. So we are in control of that right-of-way now and our destiny along it. So we're working on a complete streets concept through that whole corridor. We want to make it more pedestrian friendly. We want to make it more a sense of place. We want to provide safe transit for both motoring public and pedestrian public. We're going to be narrowing the street a little bit, adding some trees, some street furniture, and some other amenities along there to make it more friendly and inviting to both our residents and our visitors. So that is a giant project we're working on right now. We've had some stakeholder meetings with some of the people along here too, and we will continue to have stakeholder meetings to get your input on what we're doing along that corridor. Another project that we're working on that is in design right now, we're doing a similar concept on Cary from Revere to Pecos, because if you ever are out along that corridor during just about any time of day, you see a lot of pedestrian traffic along there, and it's not a very inviting corridor to walk. So we're doing similar concept along there where we're narrowing the street, shortening up crossing lengths, putting in some landscaping, some wider sidewalks, and some other things to make that corridor inviting as well to pedestrian traffic. We have NDOT is doing a pedestrian safety project on Lake Mead from Pecos to Civic Center. They're just in the preliminary design phase of it. We're trying to entice NDOT to take that corridor study all the way down to the I-15 interchange along Lake Mead, because we think there's other opportunities there to put in some pedestrian safety improvements along that stretch as well. We just finished up Joe Neate Park, as the mayor had said. We did all of the demolition and renovation with in-house staff, which is one of the first time we've ever done a project of that size. And they did it in 92 days, which was pretty cool and pretty impressive. So I was like a proud mama that day. But it's an awesome park. It's a great investment into that neighborhood. It's a beautiful place to be now. It's a park that you want to spend time at and take your kids there and have a picnic. It's just a really neat project to have completed. Let me check my notes, make sure I'm not forgetting something. We've got some school safety improvements that we have some funding from the fuel revenue indexing that we're going to be doing in 2 of the downtown areas where we have schools fronting some streets. I know a lot of you guys have probably driven through there, and when school lets out, it's chaos. And so we want to work on some safety improvements along there, putting in some median islands to kind of remove the temptation of parents to do U-turns in front of schools, which is a dangerous maneuver to make. We are looking at Tonopah from McDaniels to Bruce, there's 2 schools adjacent to that right away. There's also a park adjacent to there, so we saw it as a really good opportunity to do some pretty creative school safety improvements. We'll do some bulb outs, some medians, some other items along that alignment to kind of slow traffic down, to let them notice, hey, there's a school here. We probably should be paying attention to what we're doing. And then we're also looking at Donna from Cary to, can't remember the street on the north side, but it's just past Petiti Park. And so we'll be doing a similar project there. That both of those are in design right now. So we're excited about doing those things. And then, as Gina had touched on, we've got a long-range plan along Lake Mead and the couplet and the island that we'll also be working on in the future as well. So those are our downtown projects right now. Got any questions or any information? Awesome.
Right.
Right now we are close to getting 30% plans to us on it. We are looking at having that project design done by the end of next year. We're probably about 12 months away from having final design on that, and then we'll go to bid and start construction.
Cool. Okay, before I pass it over to Greg, I really wanted to give props to Donna Gamble, who she's not in this room right now. She's out there, but economic development doesn't actually function without her. And we love her, so let's give it up for Donna. Greg Blackburn, the director of all.
Good morning. Greg Blackburn, Director of Community Development Compliance. What does that mean? I'm over planning, zoning, building safety, fire prevention, code enforcement, and business licensing. So really everything to start a business from the conceptual side to get it operational and then maintain it from there on. Dr. Liu, one of the words she mentioned in her speech, tenacity. If there's an obstacle or if we have a block on why we have in our rules, why did we put something in place years ago, and if it's not mandated by law, then let's fix it, let's change it. We are able to compete in a global market. Make no mistake, when these big players are coming into town, say, how can we get this project in? How have you delivered on other projects? Well, here's what we've done. On LOSI, the Somerset Academy, the elementary school and middle school went from plan submittal to final temporary C of O in 9 months. Anybody that's had anything to do with development, it takes longer to go through the plan review process, if not a year or more for projects significant of that. The team that she put together is a can-do attitude on how we make development happen. So really, we're just blessed to be able to be enabled to make the rules happen, make things come together for business. Justin's been a very good, I know he's not introduced yet, but in his part, but Chamber of Commerce is a partner of ours. We're thinking about something to change business, on the business licensing side. How can we make things better for businesses? We go right and talk to them, say, here's something we're thinking about. It's like, here's what some of our members have commented on that would make it better. So if you have something that works better in another entity, state, let us know, let Chamber know. When you speak together as a group, it makes things come together a lot more. So again, it's truly a privilege to be part of the team. We're looking to streamline ways. We talk about permitting. The last year, commercial development has gone up 42% in the city of North Las Vegas compared to the previous year. Residential development, 27%. When the mayor got elected, he goes, Greg, I want to see the statistics on how we've pulled out since the recession. 2.5 years ago, we were still at the bottom. We have not started to pull out. It's like, okay, what do we have control over that? What rules can we modify to help make it easier and better for our community? So we rewrote the book. We're being used as an example throughout the region and also throughout the state and the United States on what we're doing. The reinvestment to the downtown community, graffiti. It took us a year process to come up with how we're going to do graffiti. We are now, we're tripling our staff with graffiti. We'll be having the downtown area patrolled 7 days a week. We're going to council next month for a contract for that to take place. So again, we're doing. We're trying to help maintain it. As we bring in international investors in our community, we don't want them to see graffiti. We want them to, if they know a change in from one jurisdiction to another, when they hit our jurisdiction, we don't want to see graffiti on I-15. We don't want to see it on any of our major thoroughfares. Again, it's a challenge, but we're at it. One last sales pitch, smartphone, download the app, contact North Las Vegas. If you have anything you would like us to service, be it streetlights, potholes, graffiti. Take a picture of it. Hit what it is. If you want to get a contact information back, we'll automatically send one to you when it's resolved. If you want to remain anonymous and not log in, that's fine too. But it enables our graffiti guys to go out and see where it's at. We're addressing approximately 400 reports a week on graffiti. That doesn't count the proactive stuff we're out maintaining. So again, we want to maintain the community. We want to reinvest. Have you feel secure about your investment? If we can't maintain the graffiti, it shows we can't maintain our community. So again, we want to be out in front of that. So please, with your patience on where we're at, that let us know where they are. And with that, back to Gina. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Forrest. They say that books are our knowledge and power. This is the dude.
Thanks for coming out this morning. My name is Forrest Lewis. I'm the library director, and we have 3 branches in North Las Vegas, and we're excited that in October we'll be celebrating our 1-year anniversary of moving our North Las Vegas branch into City Hall. So if you haven't checked out our branch here, it's just facing Las Vegas Boulevard. We have a library and a computer center. This year we were able to get a grant from Envy Energy, and we have updated all 28 public access computers here. So we have brand new equipment. And really at the library we strive, we consider ourselves a community education center. And we really are interested in providing learning opportunities from cradle to grave. And right now we're pretty excited. We're having our strategic plan. We're kind of knee deep in it. And we're really looking for input from stakeholders, community partners. I would love to have you get a hold of me if you're interested, and we'd love to have your opinion with we received a grant through the state library, and we have a really good consulting team that works specifically with public libraries. So we really want to frame our what we're doing in the library for the next 5 years out, what services we should be offering, how we can be helping in the community. Some of the technology we have coming on, we're just about to start our self-check system. We have some new programs. We have a partnership with Workforce Development, and hopefully as early as October we're going to be offering basic computer classes, workforce skills development classes. We're going to be really trying to offer, traditionally we have been really good at working with early literacy programs, which obviously is our #1 concern, education, but we're also really working to bring in programs to kind of help out the whole family. We find that if it's great to work with the children in the schools and go forward, but if we can also help the adults and they become educated, they're able to do better in the workforce, get better jobs, they're able to work their children, and it really brings up that the whole family dynamic in the community. So again, we'd love to have your input. If you would like to get a hold of me or just let me know, we'd love to have you sit down or on a phone conversation with our consultants and really get your opinion of what the library should be providing in the future going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Forrest. Cass Palmer, Director of Neighborhood and Leisure Services.
Thank you, Gina. Neighborhood and Leisure Services, real quick. Neighborhood Services is about all the federal and state dollars that come into our city to help grow our city, from CDBG or Community Development Block Grants to LIFT funds to emergency services funds, whatever the case may be. So half of our team manages that aspect of the group. The leisure side of the equation is Parks and Recreation. So we have 29 parks in our system, starting off with our crown jewel of now Joe Neat Park, but Craig Ranch Park, all the way down to 3 swimming pools, a couple of rec centers around town, including the Skyview Center operated by the YMCA. But switching gears, one of our big opportunities right now coming up to support our business community, starting on October 9th, we're going to launch our new amphitheater out at Craig Ranch Park. So kicking off our season with her own unique style and rhythm and lack of rhythm is Miss Gina Gavin. Oh, actually, on October 9th, we're going to start off with a Beatles tribute, a group called Yesterday, a local group. Going to have a lot of fun out there, so come on out. Yeah, that venue, we're going to cheapen the prices a little bit so everybody can come out and enjoy and kick off our season. So $5 and $10 to come out on that first one, October 9th. October 10th, we're going to start off with that tribute band called War, historic band from the 80s and 90s. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that. We'll skip a week, and then on the 23rd and 24th, we're going to go country. We're going to bring out, we'll bring out, I just lost his name. I don't think. Sammy Kershaw. Thank you. Sammy Kershaw. And I'm no rhythm here. But then once we do country, we're going to start the next night with a little comedy with Paul Rodriguez. So we're trying out the amphitheater to see what we can do with the amphitheater. Amphitheater is designed to have fun. End of story. We want to be known as the festival city in northern or southern Nevada. So we're going to do everything from Shakespeare to whatever the case may be. But we'll have a lot of concerts out there, reasonably priced. Ballpark in the 20s and $30 and $40 ticket range. So the principle is for us to come out, enjoy the community, have fun out there. The park itself is on high gear. We've got a lot of new activities coming in at the park. We've got a lot of interest in the park, both from a local festive arrangements all the way up to some big ones. San Gennaro Feast, I think we're going to be able to land here pretty soon and bring them out to it. And a couple other big activities will be coming forth. Switching gears on you, Villages at Tule Springs. Like we talked about, the new park area up here, master plan community. The cities, we're going to get 6 new parks out of that, and one of them being a regional park of about 35 acres that we'll program with soccer and softball and everything else. So another major benefit for us, let alone our 29 parks. Jim Hayes and Lorena Caroliana handle our Choice Neighborhood Initiative. That's an initiative where we're trying to come up with a redevelopment plan, a revitalization plan for the southern part of the city, essentially from about 5th over to Clayton and along Cary, sort of breaks the program in half. But the whole focus there is we got about a $500,000 grant from HUD. First time, first city west of the Denver to really be involved with a program of this national magnitude. We matched that with another $500,000. So we're working with about $1 million to come up with a revitalization plan for that neighborhood and see what we can see when we can attract some development over there. So over there from Buena Vista Springs all the way down to Rose Gardens and everything in between. So lots going on. So stay tuned and we'll have a lot more fun. But it's all about our community here in North Las Vegas.
Thanks, Kat. A hip, a hop, a hippie to the hippie. What are you talking about? I don't have a rhythm. Chief Lytle, emergency preparedness and all things hot.
She's too funny. Don't give her the mic anymore. So, fire department. So, as you come, I've been to several of these as well, right? And it's kind of interesting. We come to find out what's going on in the community and what's growing. But one of the reasons you're here as well is to get to know these people and to get to know who they are and what they're all about and what we bring to the table, so that we have those relationships, so that together we can get things done. So the fire department, our motto, it says it's our city, our people, our duty. And we take that really serious, and to make sure that we have that community involvement. So for the last couple of years, we've opened our doors, and we have pancake breakfast every quarter. Open up one of the fire stations, come in, teach CPR, teach people about fire, teach them about emergency preparedness. This month, by the way, is Emergency Preparedness Month. And so we are more than willing to reach out to any of you. If you need any assistance with that, please let us know. We are reaching out to the schools this month. This month we are giving a push for street safety. As you've looked over the last couple of months, we've had several of our children who have been hit in the streets. So for this month, we are giving a big push to all the schools. So as our people go out to do school drills, they're talking to them about street safety. And our captains are getting on the PA and talking to those kids about how to be safe in the street and what they should do. So again, it's all about doing those things to help us not only prepare, but to be prepared always in whatever we do. Now, the fire department continues to be involved in a bunch of things. So we continually do community service. We continue to do public education. We're continually involved in a lot of things. But the fire department, you know what we do. You call and we come, right? And we try to make sure that we're as prepared as we possibly can be. We've established partnerships throughout this community and with our partners at Nellis Air Force Base and with the other entities to make sure that if we don't have the resources, that we can call upon them to make sure that the resources that are needed are brought to North Las Vegas to be able to be successful in whatever event that may take place. We have taken the lead in North Las Vegas on training emergency operations centers to make sure that we are really good. So when the other entities look at doing emergency operations centers, they call upon us to come help them, to assist them, to do it the North Las Vegas way, because we're taking the lead. Now, it's pretty cool as a chief. I get pretty used to telling people what to do, and they do it. It's kind of a cool deal. But so let me just give you a 30-second leadership message that you can take so that you can better understand who these people are. Now, this council and this city manager have put together an incredible team, and I love these people because they are people that truly get things done. But let me give you an example. So, again, as a fire chief, I'm giving you an order here, just so you know, okay? So, I want you to raise your hand as high as you can. Raise your hand as high as you can. Now raise it higher. Interesting, huh? So, as a fire chief, I get used to giving orders, and people do that. So I gave you an order to raise your hand as high as you could. But when I asked you to raise higher, you gave more, right? I call this effort and attitude. And you don't get this effort and attitude from North Las Vegas employees. You get this effort and attitude, okay? That's what you get. And you don't have to ask a second time. When we are asked to do something, we give effort and attitude that is 110%. Not effort and attitude that you see here, but effort and attitude that is always that little extra. So when you come and you look at what's going on in North Las Vegas, it's not only this, but it's this that makes the magic to make that happen, because what you get is you get the effort and attitude. So our city, our people, our duty, we take that very serious. So thanks for allowing us to be a part of you. Thanks for allowing us to serve you. Thanks again for being here today.
Thank you, Chief. Randy Duvall. Let's bring it up.
I can't beat Chief Lytle. Raise your hand, everybody, as high as you can. Thank you, Gina. My name is Randy Duvall. I'm Director of Utilities for the city. I'd like to tell you that our utility system, our water service area, is all of North Las Vegas and all of Sunrise Manor. We have a total of about 86,000 active water accounts. About 227,000 population in North Las Vegas and close to another 100,000 in Sunrise Manor. Our sewer service area is only the city of North Las Vegas itself. Our average water usage is about 45 million gallons a day. Our average wastewater usage is about 17 million gallons per day. I'd like to really briefly hit on the fact that all of the areas that Dr. Liu mentioned as far as development in the near future, Tule Springs, a job creation zone, medical job creation zone, the North Las Vegas Gateway, these projects, we have water and sewer available to them today. The North Beltway Industrial Park is where one of our focuses is that sanitary sewer. We already have water service there, but our goal is to construct a 5-mile sanitary sewer that'll actually end up down here at our wastewater treatment plant. When we do that, this entire area up here will be opened up for new development. And lastly, as far as development goes, is the Apex Industrial Park. We have long-term and short-term development plans to be able to handle just about anything that happens up there. On the short term, we have access to, we're the water purveyors for Garnet Valley, which is Capex. And we have access to approximately 800,000 gallons per day of groundwater, which will service most of the smaller industries up there. We're looking for that big end user to be able to extend a water line up to Apex from basically around the Speedway area. And wastewater services, we have a plan for wastewater services up there as well. So we're really looking forward to that area developing, and we're doing what we can to make sure that we have adequate water and wastewater services to serve just about anything that wants to come up there. So you do your thing, Gina. As far as, I'd like to also talk a little bit about some process changes that we're looking at. One of our big goals here that's going to probably take close to 2 years is to change our utilities financial billing system. And what we're going to, when we do that, that'll actually make it a lot more customer friendly as well. We average about 5,000 calls to our call center a week. And a lot of those calls are simply to pay your water bill, and they're transferred to an automated service to be able to do that. But our goal is to obviously reduce those number of calls, and when we change our billing system, that's going to help do that. We are also looking at a new water metering system. Our current system is a drive-by system where our vans our trucks will drive by your house and business, and a radio-controlled meter will actually beam the reading to the truck, and then it's downloaded into our financial billing system. That system now is started about 12 years ago. And the batteries on these systems last about 10 years. So we're in a position where we're spending upwards of $800,000 to $1 million a year replacing the batteries on these units that we first put in 12 years ago. So at this point, we're actually putting in 12-year-old technology. So what we're trying to look at here, and is something that we'll be discussing at our next Utility Advisory Board meeting, is a new smart meter system where the meter will actually provide access to the, it'll actually directly send the reading to our billing system, where we will eliminate the need for drive-by trucks to be able to collect the readings, and also provide that same access, instant access to our customers. Much like the NV Energy system, where you can log on to the system and actually see your energy use, you'll be able to log on to the system and actually see your water usage as well. And as a commercial establishment, water can be a very big thing to a lot of you. So it's something that you really need to manage, especially in the middle of the desert where we have a drought going on. So this will give you that access in order to be able to do that. We've also added a couple of new customer service incentives that we're looking at, that we've implemented, and one that I'm really looking forward to implement. We've tried to expand our web applications so that you can start your service, stop your service, even make payment arrangements online. We've got that implemented for residential. We were going to do it for commercial, but put it on hold because the city is in the process of upgrading their website. And when their website is done, then we'll be looking at the commercial side of it as well. I can't advertise enough, although again this is more for I think the residential side, is our Pay Near Me system, where you don't even have to come down to City Hall to pay your bill. If you want to make a cash payment, you can go to any 7-Eleven in the country. We've had people in California and even on the East Coast make payments for their water bills here in North Las Vegas simply by going to a Pay Near Me and paying them. On the water bill, and including your commercial bills, there'll be a little barcode on there that you take to 7-Eleven. They'll scan it, you pay your bill, and you're done. And that shows up instantaneously in our utility system. And that really has helped us when it comes to turnoffs. If somebody doesn't pay their bill, we turn their water off. They can go down to 7-Eleven and pay that bill. They don't have to come down here and stand in line. And that afternoon, they can have their water back on. So it's a pretty good system, and we really are trying to endorse it. Something that I believe will impact you, and something that I believe we're going to end up doing within the next 30 days. Next week, we are going to be bringing on an additional staff member, and that member is going to be what I like to call concierge service. Basically, it'll be a dedicated line, a new phone line that'll be dedicated to commercial realtors and landlords. People that are busy, they don't have time to wait or to go through our callback system to wait for a callback to get answers. So this person, within the next 30 days, I hope we're going to implement this program once we train her. We'll be able to, it'll be a separate line, and they will be dealing directly with the commercial accounts and landlords and realtors that need water on and off very quickly. So we're really looking forward to that as well. So we got some exciting things happening in the utilities department over the next year or so.
Thanks, Randy. Okay, I know we had a few other directors, but they had to leave for meetings. So here's what's going to happen. Justin, come on up, dude. Metro Chamber, they've been our sponsor, and we want to thank them. Justin, we're going to do a little drawing. We've got some Starbucks gift cards. We're going to pull those out. Justin's going to say a few words, and then I would love to pass the mic around for those of you who are left in the room, just to provide some context so you know who you were sitting amongst. So if you share your name and then what your business is, that would be great, and then we'll conclude on that. Before we do this, I just want to thank you again for coming. In December, we'll have a little kind of coffee and donuts with the mayor and council, and then we'll convene the actual business part of it with some of the programming starting in January.
Denora Cordero.
Come on down! See, we should have a big wheel or something. Thank you. All right, buddy, let's go. Let's fire it up.
Uh-oh, Councilman Churchio.
No, city staff. Oh, wait, was there somebody? Oh, no, okay.
You're going to have to help me with this. Saturday Guillermo?
That was good. Come on down. Thanks.
How many you got left?
We got one more.
It looks like just a
7-Eleven? All right.
I'm going to do it, Come on down.
Come on down. Please Slurpees at my 7-Eleven today.
You get free Slurpees. Right? Right, there you go. All right, Justin for the Metro Chamber.
Thanks, Gina. I promise I'll be really brief. I know we're a little over time, but before I say anything, I want to thank Gina, the Economic Development Team, for putting on a great event and allowing us to sponsor today. We really feel a partnership between the City of North Las Vegas and the Las Vegas Metro Chamber. I see members in the room, I see non-members, but most importantly, I see people that are committed to the community, that really want to see changes in the City of North Las Vegas, and I appreciate that. We want to be a part of that change as well. I also want to thank members of council and the mayor. I know he kind of took off and he's got lots of things going on, but this is because of them. This is because of their leadership and the input from the community and all of you that are here today. I promise I'll start talking into the microphone. Briefly, for those of you that don't know who or what the Las Vegas Metro Chamber of Commerce is, we really have a threefold mission. It's advocacy, it's partnerships, and it's resources. Every day we strive to be advocates for the business community at all levels of government, from the federal, state, and local levels. We try to be here at council, we try to be at the state legislature, we try to be in Washington, D.C., fighting for business owners and businesses to have a fair regulatory and legislative process. We know that you deal with those things every day, and we want to be as helpful as possible to make it easy for you to run your business. Partnerships, it's exactly what we're doing today. We strive as a chamber to be partners with local government and with good community members. But we also want to see partnerships between businesses and other businesses. We want to see this community grow and flourish by the growth of businesses and jobs. And lastly is resources, and probably most importantly, we want to see small businesses especially have the resources that they need to succeed, to hire new employees, to grow jobs, and to make this community a better place. I'll let y'all go, but if you have any questions after, feel free to grab me, and please come visit us at our new offices. We're just down the street at the Smith Center for the Performing Arts. So thank you again.
Thanks. Okay, so now we're going to turn it over to you guys. Again, thank you for coming. Thanks for all the directors. There's an amazing leadership team in place here. Thank you. Donna is now in the room, so let's give her the love that she deserves, as well as thank you, Donna. She put a lot of effort into this, as well as the economic development team. So thank you, guys. So we'll start over here.
Hi, good morning. I'm Sandy. Oh, I'm Sandy, and this is Susan. We're from North Vista Hospital. We're right up the street right here, neighbors. We're the business development and marketing team, and we want to support the city. We are a community, and we just want to make sure that we're all on the same page and we all want to grow all together. So, thank you.
I guess I'll say thank you too. I'm Susan from North Vista Hospital.
Hi, good morning. I'm Christy Eccles. I have a company called Paragon Development Group. We are a small business development and diversity firm, also a resident and business owner here, and I'm also the president of the National Association of Women Business Owners for Southern Nevada. So any women business owners, come in to see us as well.
I'm Jo Cato, North Las Vegas resident for 27 years, and I own a marketing, PR, and business development firm here in North Las Vegas as well.
Good morning, Jennifer Goldstein. I'm a founder and general counsel to Nuveda, a medical marijuana company. Here we've got cultivation and production facilities, hopefully in Apex if we can get utilities, and a dispensary literally just across the street.
Leslie Hahn with Hahn's Military Surplus. Been here for 42 years and hope to grow more in the future.
Hi, I'm Brian Potashnik. I'm the owner of Hacienda Hills. We're a mixed-use residential and commercial property directly across the street from the Silver Nugget on Las Vegas Boulevard. Currently undergoing over $1 million worth of renovations on the property, and anxious to see some of these positive things happen that we've talked about today. So thank you. Oh. And this is actually the owner. This is the real owner.
No, I'm just the property manager for Hacienda Hills. So, thank you.
My name is Sonia Diaz with National Coalition of Hispanic Organizations, NACHO for all of you, a nickname. And our mission is to break the cycle of poverty in our community through education, culture, and economic development.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dan Breeze. I'm representing U.S. Bank, small business development area. So obviously, we don't have all the money in the world, but we do have money to lend, and we're happy to talk to all of our small businesses. We make a point in trying getting out in the community and representing the bank. Even though we're a national bank, we do all live here, and we try to keep a lot of the money here and inspire small businesses everywhere. So. I have cards, and if anybody needs money, come see me. All right. Thank you.
Hi, Joe Kane, General Counsel and Vice President for Fifth Street Gaming, which, among other things, owns the Silver Nugget. And we're just excited to be here. We've been involved and active with the city for a long time, and I couldn't help but think when Councilman Barone and some others and the mayor were talking about how everybody in this room has all this money. Things are feeling better. Jeff Fine, who I worked with for a couple of years at the height of the recession when things were, darkest and gloomiest, had this little cartoon that somebody gave him that said, it was a guy, and he said, "Oh my gosh, I just lost all my money at the casino." And the guy sitting at the desk across from him said, "Well, it could be worse. You could own a casino," which is kind of what it felt like for a while there. I mean, things were pretty rough. The casino industry, is still struggling in a lot of ways, but Las Vegas, we have a lot of different businesses that we're involved with, not just casinos, and it's felt better with a lot of those for a long time, but not necessarily casinos. And as you mentioned, I mean, it's awesome that development's up 42%. We're actually feeling very, bullish and optimistic now about North Las Vegas for the first time in a while, because we had, big plans back in 2007, 8, and we kind of just put those by the wayside for a while, but we're excited. The event we had last week that the councilman mentioned, I mean, there's a demand for that kind of thing, and we want to do more of that, and we feel very optimistic, and I think that hopefully in 5-10 years things are going to look a lot different around here, and we're excited. So glad to be here.
Hi, my name is Kelly Woods, and I'm here from Neighborhood Housing Services. We're a local nonprofit that provides homes that people can afford. So we're right down the street on Civic Center, and I'm really excited to be here. We're actually undertaking a marketing project in College Park. So I'm probably going to be reaching out to a lot of you guys that are in College Park because we're trying to define that vibe for College Park and try and see what we can build from it. So thank you.
I'm Wayne Leroy. I'm with the North Las Vegas Elks. We're a community service organization, and we've been partners with the city of North Las Vegas for the last 40 plus years, and we'll look forward to continue doing those kinds of things.
Laura Coleman, my husband and I have owned the Poker Palace Casino for 41 years. And also, Councilman Churchio and I are the co-chairs for Military Appreciation for the Armed Forces and Military Appreciation. And Joe and Wayne and Pamela, so many of you are a part of it. And last year, we were not able to have military appreciation. It was kind of swept away from us. But we want you to know that we want to take care of our military. And Veterans Village that's in Las Vegas, Arnie Stock, is very, very interested in building a Veterans Village here in North Las Vegas. And I know Councilman Barone and Councilman Churchio and I went and met with him. And so as we're thinking of building this community, let's build and think about all of our military and how we can service them and how we can, as we are the gateway to Nellis Air Force Base, we can take care of our military right here. And we're looking for a motel that they can do what they did to beautiful Veterans Village over there and do that and have the pride in North Las Vegas that we're taking care of the military as well as our businesses.
Hi, my name is Harjinder Kamboj. I own 7-Eleven on the corner of Civic Center and Las Vegas Boulevard. I'm a new kid on the block, and I'm learning everything. I just bought it 6 months ago, and I'm learning my community. I'm learning my business. I used to work for the California government. I worked 32 years. I worked for the Orange County Assessor's Office. So it's all together. It's a new thing for me, and I'm learning a little hard way. And I was just talking to Mr. Cass and about the problems I have it in the over there, the motels. And you say you're looking for the buy a motel, and there's a one behind me. Please buy that, and please buy that. Yeah, but please help her to buy that and change that, because that motel is nothing but the problem over there. If you guys know that. Thanks once again.
My name is Mike Turner, and I was just thinking when this guy was mentioning Silver Nugget, we used to go there for breakfast when I was a kid. My dad was stationed out here at Nellis. And my family's lived in town for like 40 years, and I grew up here. I have some commercial buildings over on East Lake Mead that Terry's aware of, and the councilman we're going to go visit after this meeting. And I got other property and real estate in North Las Vegas. I can tell you, of all the years, which has been probably more than 20, I have seen an attitude change in North Las Vegas, and mostly just the morale. I've been coming down here for 2.5 years pulling permits and doing different things, and it seems like the whole attitude has made a turn for the better. So that's it. Thanks.
No, I guess I don't want to hold anybody up. I know everyone's got a lot of things to do. Thank you so very much for coming out. And unless Director Gavin has something else to say, I want to say, again, thank you very much, and we'll see you in December.
Thank you.
What do you mean? I don't know if we won't catch anybody on their way out. Did we? I think we did a pretty good job. I think so. Woo, woo. Hippity hoppity, I'm going to get you some big gold necklaces. And something.